Hey, welcome. We're going to do a beef satay with a kind of a fried noodle, just with a Hokkien noodle. I've got those going there. You can see that just in sort of boiling water for 3 or so minutes. So I want to drain that as well because you want to keep it fairly dry, right, with this, because you want to get it quite crisp. So let's just show you. I'm just going to let that sit for a second there whilst that dries off. Get that kind of that moisture out of that as much as possible. Now, I've made these before, and in fact, I didn't pre-cook those. Just a Hokkien, fresh noodle. I didn't pre-cook them, but you're better to cook them. It takes a lot. It's a quicker process. So I've got a number of things here, like I always do. Prep. Some beef. We've got some capsicum. Obviously, some onion. We love the onion. But I'm also going to do a couple of things. I want to do two separate dishes. So I'm going to cook the. I've got these already ready to go. I'm going to cook the onion first, and then I'm going to cook the beef. Because with the beef, you want to cook it really quick, all right? Otherwise, it goes tough. So really quick, just searing it. What I tend to find is if you're putting the beef with the onion and the kind of the butter and all, it really starts to get quite like almost boiled, and you don't want it boiled, okay? So you really want to keep this as dry as possible. So I'm going to try and do them in two separate dishes. So just a little bit of garlic. Obviously hear the heat in that. I also put just a tiny little splash of, I can get that open, ginger. Again, just a teaspoon of ginger. You can hear that pretty hot. I've got that going as well. This other pot here is for the noodles themselves. So I'll bring that across shortly and get the noodles going as well. The longest part of this is just the preparation, like all these things. So let's just get that going. I don't want to burn that, so turn it down a little bit. With those onions, turn that down as well. Okay, so I'm going to cook those onions, get the meat on, and really with this, that's one really hot. Get the noodles just, as I said, as dry as you can. When I say dry, they've just been cooked, but try not to have too much liquid in it because you just want it to sit in there and crisp up. And I like to get actually that brown, kind of almost like a burnt. Right? So you can hear that. Awesome. And just let that sit there. It becomes kind of like a bit of a pancake, right? Now, what I've also found with this, if they're not cooked and you're putting in just the noodles, if they're not cooked and you're putting in the noodles, what tends to happen is it starts to just soak up all the oil and then actually doesn't crisp up. So we really want it to crisp up. So let's look at that. Now I'm going to put some other, that's looking good. I've also got some capsicum there, which we'll just fry off with those onions now. And then we're going to take that out and put it in a bowl. I'll actually put it in this bowl here without the water. And then do the beef just really quickly with some of that satay sauce. I might like a splash of sour cream in as well. And I've got some yummy water chestnuts there as well, just to give that beautiful kind of crunch. And of course then just a little bed of that broccolini in some butter. And again, I'll do that separately so that kind of doesn't all boil up. So you can see that's going to come nicely. Okay, I just want to stir that through. Might want to give that actually I might put a little bit of butter in there. You don't have to, butter or oil, it's pretty similar. A bit of butter in there, just with the onion and the capsicum. Just really giving that awesome flavour. Yes, mate. You've had dinner, mate. Okay, now with that, we'll turn that up a little bit because you want this crispness of the noodles, so we're going to turn that right up. Okay, no, you don't need the help there, mate. Alright, so that's going. That's almost ready. I might even take those noodles, take that onion and the capsicum and that butter, yum, 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 yum. I'll just take that out and then I'm going to quickly do that beef. Just as I said, hot, quick with the beef, okay? You really want it to sizzle hot, quick. So I'll take that out. And then of course we're going to put this all together when that's done. Get away, mate, you'll get burnt. Awesome. Okay, now just keeping that on, just making sure I don't burn myself there. Keeping that on, and again, just with that beef really sizzling, making it hot. Might need a little bit more oil, making sure it's quite hot. Just check that noodle. And what I like to do with this noodle is actually trying to almost flip it over, so kind of letting that cool. Can you hear that? Wonderful. Letting that cook. I mean, it does take a few minutes as well. One of the first things to do when you're preparing this dish is kind of doing it in stages, making sure it's on the hottest possible. With that steak, with that beef, let's get that on. And again, quick here is your friend, because you don't want it to, oh, that sounds great. You don't want it to overcook. Okay, so we've got a few of those things prepared. We're going to sort of bring it all together, and then I'll show you that final product in with the beef. Flipping that, we will try and flip that over, that kind of like a pancake of those noodles with some broccoli, in a bit of butter, with the onion and the capsicum all on top. Awesome, with a bit of satay sauce around that. When that's almost cooked, yeah, that's really quick. That is great. Hot barbecue, like a hot Korean barbecue. Just want it done really quickly so it doesn't go tough. Beautiful. And I might even just pour the satay sauce in it. Well, it stops it from cooking for a start, but it just does start to soak up some of that beautiful flavour. We'll show you what that looks like when we're I just want to show you there some of that. So I've mixed in some sour cream and that beautiful peanut sauce. And you can see I've got the capsicum and the onion that we'll put in as well. And just let's lift up the corner of that, and you can see that's really starting to get that edgy brown, beautiful, exactly what we want. Perfect, let's plate that up shortly.